In my youth, I made wonderful films, but all the money in the world does not respect quality. Creative storytelling, not exploitation of nostalgia, threatened to prevent me from being obscenely rich, but I would not allow it. I assaulted our vault of popular and successful animated films and claimed to remake them more adult and modern. And neither the treachery of level-headed critics, native Chinese people, and my alleged creative bankruptcy could stop me. I am no longer affected by negative reviews and cultural insensitivities. My actions have given me great strength and my corporate executives endless wealth. Who among you would dare challenge my right to rule? Here! Face me! I saw your movie, but I didn't pay $30 for it. I don't even have a Disney Plus account, nor did I use my friends. And I haven't paid for a live-action Disney film since Pete's Dragon! Enough! I am God, Emperor Disney! Let's talk about Disney's live-action remakes. I hate them. This is my honest opinion of Mulan.
Citizens, we all...
Okay, fine. I'll briefly talk about them. The live-action remakes are Disney's new cash cow. Though certainly nothing new by their standards, after all, look at the straight-to-DVD sequel fiasco back in the 90s to early 2000s. But there's something about these remakes that utterly bother me. At least with the DVD sequels, you can find ones that have artistic and even narrative value. But that's largely absent with the remakes. Sure, technology has come a long way, but what a lot of people forget is we didn't love Lion King because of how it looked, though the scope and epic feel certainly add to it. No kid was sitting in the audience wishing these animated animals were real. No one hated Lion King because it was a cartoon. We loved it because of its characters, the emotions, the way we connected to them that made them feel real, and that's what the remakes largely get wrong. Lion King 2019 may have had realistic animals, but the only reason you cried when Mufasa died is because you associate that scene so strongly with the original that you're projecting the emotions you should be feeling onto this movie that is completely devoid of emotions. Technology is not a replacement for emotions.
No soul replaced by tech.
Now, I'll definitely talk about my thoughts before we get into the review itself for Mulan, but first, let's see who made this movie. The director is Nikki Caro. She's done episodes of Anne with an E. God damn, that is a show that was cut off way too soon, even after 3 seasons. If you haven't seen Anne with an E on Netflix, check it out. It's actually it's a surprisingly good show. The Zookeeper's Wife. I thought that movie was okay. I mean, I generally like anything with Jessica Chastain, so those are the only movies that I've seen. No, I haven't seen Whale Rider. I know, it's a great movie. Leave me alone. 4 writers. Oh, this explains so much. Okay, so Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver are basically a writing duo. They have both done all 3 of the recent Planet of the Apes movies and Jurassic World. The first one only, not Fallen Kingdom. How do you go from those movies to this? That is a nosedive.
Took a nosedive from the ugly tree and hit every branch coming down.
And Elizabeth Martin and Lauren Hynek are also a writing duo, except I have no idea what they've done. The film stars Liu Yifei, I have no idea how to pronounce that, sorry. And the only movie that I've seen her do is The Forbidden Kingdom, working with Jet Li again. That had to have been interesting. We have Donnie Yen, and the only movies that I've seen him in are Triple X, Return of Xander Cage, I forgot he was in that, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, And I'm 90% sure I've only seen Ip Man's 1 and 2. I could be wrong, and it could just be only the first one that I've seen. Still, the man knows... Oh, I've seen Hero. Again, working with Jet Li. All roads go back to Jet Li. Oh, he was also in Blade 2. Really? All of y'all should know Jet Li. He's a legend. And Jason Scott Lee, who has done The Seventh Son. Boy, that's a movie that nobody saw. Except me. Balls of Fury. I don't remember him in that. Lilo and Stitch. Oh yeah, he was Mowgli in the live action The Jungle Book. Like back in 1994. So as you can imagine, with my mindset regarding these live action remakes, I was not looking forward to Mulan. Market that PG-13 rating, the all-Asian cast, how good it looks, all you want. But like any gold-digging male or female bitch, I know all you want is my money with no substance on your end. Which in my book is king. And these remakes seldom have substance. This is my honest opinion of Mulan. Oh man! Out of every single live-action remake that Disney's been shitting out over the years, this might be the first time, and let me just say this, I don't know if it's because my brain finally broke and I've gone completely insane. I know that reception has been less than kind, rather deservedly. And even my favorite reviewers have said that this movie is boring, but I must argue. This is the first time in years that one of these live-action remakes has legitimately entertained me. Yes, I said it! Make no mistake, I gotta emphasize this. This movie is a garbage fire. Get your sticks and marshmallows because the blaze in this dumpster is blue hot. But I had a downright laugh. I almost think it's one of those so bad it's good type flicks. It doesn't quite reach those heights. In fact, it takes a fair minute to get to its bad entertainment value. But let's get into this sucker. The movie starts off completely nonsensical. The opening narration, which basically introduces Mulan's chi, this universe's the Force, which basically makes Mulan a superhero, is so poorly written and kind of contradictory. The dialogue goes something like, "Could you tell her that only a man could have chi?" Already, my instincts are telling me that in this universe, only men can have chi, and that Mulan is an anomaly. Mulanomy. Mulanomy? Yeah? Someday I will learn to be funny. But the next line goes something like, "But a woman with chi risks dishonor, shame, and exile." So, doesn't that kind of contradict his previous sentence? If only men can have chi, how could a woman risk all that? Is there already a preemptive fuck you to women over an issue that they've never had to worry about? You see where my issues are coming from with all this? I feel like I know what the intended meaning is, but my confusion only makes this movie look worse, so I'm gonna stay confused. Then we're introduced to Mulan's home, and at first, I wanted to say something positive. Like, look how pretty this looks. The sets are good, the production value is solid. But here's the problem. Disney is worth $130 billion. Billion with a B. This movie cost $200 million. I argue that if the movie didn't look good, there would be something unbelievably wrong. To be impressed by Disney's visuals at this point is like saying you're impressed that a fish can swim or a bird can fly. I say Disney's solid visuals are meeting a standard, not going above and beyond. To me, solid visuals means precisely Nothing. But here's where some of the comedy comes in, and only in retrospect, sadly, because when I first started watching this, I was just miserable. I was not happy to be watching this, and I was ready to rage and all that. But in hindsight, this was amazingly stupid. Mulan spends a minute chasing this fucking chicken and winds up on the roof of this 3-story village town building thing. Sorry, Tulo? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Uncultured swine. Education. I do it right. Take that, 2.2 GPA. I can't believe I just admitted that on camera. I'm keeping that. That's too fucking funny. Open the floodgates to humiliation. I don't care. There's nothing that anyone can say to me that I haven't said worse to myself. And all of this is done in the name of showing off poor green screen effects and wire work. By the way, going back to the whole men and women with chi thing, seriously, this needs to be spelled out better. One would think that if it's that rare for a woman to have chi, which Mulan has openly demonstrated that she has, the reactions from everyone wouldn't be disgust, but rather intrigue or even fear. This would be a topic for discussion amongst the villagers. If I were to improve on this, I would say that the town should be divided. Some would acknowledge that her abilities make their town a target, or if anyone from the Imperial City found out about her, would shame and spell disaster for the town. Some would be overjoyed and think that it's great that this is an anomaly, that this is the town's dirty little secret, but in like a good way. Befriend the family, help them out, that sort of thing. But for everyone to just be immediately against her, I just don't like that. Also, I am well aware that back then, women with magical abilities were actually respected and revered. So maybe that kind of shits on my improvements, but I'm just kind of going off of what the movie introduces and working with that. Okay, now we gotta talk about the witch. Her powers are completely unclear. Is she possessing this man? Is she turning into him? Both? One has to ask where her powers end. What are her limitations? A ton of fantasy stories suffer from this problem, leaving room for cynics like me to ask the question, well, why isn't there a spell that does this or that? Oh, hey, you. Basically, if she can possess people, turn into them, she also turns into a hawk, why can't she just fly to the Imperial Palace, kill the Emperor, and take his place? Or possess him and rule China like that? Why does she even need the Roran army at all? I do admit, though, she has a cool look to her. And why do these two villains not get along? You know what would solve this? I'll tell you. As the story presents it, the witch just wants to find a place that will accept her, having a backstory of someone who once had a home but was shunned when her magical abilities were discovered. She found the Rorans. They took her in, but only so that she could help them take revenge against China and kill the Emperor. But they don't get along. Why does she help them? I've seen it commented that the witch is considered to be the most interesting character in the movie. I would argue that she's actually the stupidest. Bori Khan actively belittles her, equates her to a slave. She serves him. It's honestly kind of a wonder why she doesn't just kill him and take over the Roran army herself. Hey, instant queen of the Rorans. Who the fuck's gonna fight against her? Sidestepping that, if they succeed in their conquest, who's to say that he wouldn't kill her? My fix, make them lovers. Either genuine or by convenience. There really wouldn't be a wrong answer in that regard. What if she was already accepted by the Rorans? Or if not them, then just by Bori Khan, and she helps them take revenge out of loyalty or love for him? At least there'd be some sort of emotion to invest in this movie, because it's absent everywhere else. Or make Khan a liar, promising to make her his queen when he finally takes over China, but only with the intention of killing her so as not to share power, seeing her only as a weapon rather than an equal. At least by that point, we can sympathize with the witch for being manipulated by this charismatic character. Under those circumstances, it would probably be wiser to make the movie about the witch rather than Mulan. To anyone who's been saying that this movie is joyless, you're not wrong, but you're wrong. Look at the frolicking! Bunnies, smiles, and laughter. One of them may be a boy, one of them may be a girl. And did you miss the hilarious joke about how her makeup makes her look like she has the same expression? Don't you remember how delightful that was? The joy in this movie is so artificially inserted. The terrible CGI rabbits that she immediately assumes the gender of pretty much incited a laugh out of me. And the jokes being so bad that I couldn't help but snicker. The matchmaker scene, where it's a random ass spider that ruins everything as opposed to Cricky in the original. Mulan taps into that cartoon physics, her chi, and perfectly catches all the teacups. The sheer perfection! Until we learn that Mulan has a weakness. Oh yes. She has her very own kryptonite in this. The stakes raise by this point, and we fear for Mulan's future. What is that weakness, you may ask? Her hair! Oh, the humanity! Who could have seen this coming? Not Mulan, that's for sure. I am funnier than anything in this movie. Don't you fucking deny it. Another big weakness that I was kind of picking up on was how fast-paced it was. We never truly get a sense of Mulan's character, a very similar problem that Mulan Rise of a Warrior had. In my review for that movie, I said that the fast pacing of getting her into that armor may have been due to the idea that Mulan is a really old story. Everyone knows how it starts, so we just want to quickly get that over with and just get to the swordplay and ass-kicking. While that may be true in a sense, I have to say that after watching this, I'm starting to realize something that may have actually been pretty obvious from the very beginning. Mulan stealing her father's armor, disguising herself as a man. This is one of her key defining moments, and such a moment needs dramatic weight. Maybe you don't need to go full 98 animated Disney with a prolonged montage and a historically inaccurate haircutting moment, but both this movie and Rise just haphazardly slap the armor on her. But it's just not as engaging and doesn't reel us in on the future of her character. To make matters worse, they pointlessly throw in a scene where she randomly gets lost and an ancestral phoenix helps guide her way. You know, that bird undercuts a lot of Mulan's already overpowered abilities, and I can't tell if that's a good or a bad thing. Forced drama. What a way to pad out an already bloated runtime. Here's where we're introduced to our supporting characters, and I have to ask, where you at, SJWs? This movie had the fucking nerve to human wash a cricket character. Yup, this dude, his name is Cricket. And he was born under an auspicious moon, and that's why his mom calls him a lucky charm. Wow. How dare this movie? The line comes out of nowhere too. No one prompts him to talk, he just goes into his backstory for no reason. See? Gay jokes! Gay jokes! This movie's fun, guys! This movie's fun! Okay, legit question. Mulan demonstrates her chi during the sparring scene with Hong Hui, but gets mad at herself for doing so, claiming that she needs to hide her chi. As a woman. In the camp, she's Hua Ju. I cannot for the life of me hear through accents. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I have very Western white ears. I can't hear through accents. I'm sorry. But only warrior men have chi. Shouldn't 2 and 2 add up here? And just cruise by on the training? Use that shit. Exploit it. With this country getting wrecked by the Rorons who have a witch as their personal tank, one would think that someone having chi amongst their ranks would actually tip the scales in their favor in some way. But surely, if she's gonna hide her powers, she's got a good reason for it. Tell us, Mulan, what is your brilliant strategy? Why are you hiding your chi?
I don't know.
Brilliant! What? This movie is chock full of stupid people. Now let's talk about this scene where Mulan meets the witch. The witch says that Mulan's chi is being poisoned because she's lying. What? That was never an established weakness. And it hasn't seemed to hold her back thus far. During training, she still kicked that spear. She still lifted those heavy buckets of water. And just a few seconds ago, she was dodging arrows like she was in the Matrix. What the fuck are you on about? She also proclaims that she will die with her lies of pretending to be something that she's not by throwing a single shuriken. Yeah, sure, fine. Mulan does seem to get thrown back pretty hard and slams against the side of that cliff, but one would think, poison chi or no, anybody could survive something like that. And I don't know, maybe slit her throat while she's knocked out will have a few benefits. But of course, plot armor. Oh my god, I love the narration here. So, Mulan's dad narrating this story was dropped long ago. Not that it was all that necessary to begin with, but all he does here is deliver a ham-fisted line of, "In that moment, Hua Jun did die." Oh god, the poetry. Pack it in, Robert Frost and Maya Angelou. You've been outdone! I mean, the witch must have said something poetic, because it's in this moment that Mulan decides to stop lying about her gender and even forgoes her armor, because clearly her chi grants her some kind of immortality. Would you be shocked by this point? I mean, the armor covers all her vital organs. Like, she keeps the legging armor that covers her legs where the less vital organs are, but this armor, no. That's gotta go. Immortality. Chi. And it's not like I'm even that far off either, because in the upcoming battle sequences, she doesn't get injured in any way. By the way, what's with this? I know you can't tell from the screenshot, but it basically looks like that Mulan is triggering the avalanche that takes out the Rorons with her chi. Not the explodey ball, her chi. Even if I am just looking for reasons to take potshots at this flick, you can't deny that it's given me plenty of ammunition up to this point. Now we have round 2 between Mulan and the witch post-gender reveal. Why does the witch try to relate to Mulan? Now, what changed her mind about her? Just a few minutes ago, they were trying to kill each other. Going from one cliche of not making sure the protagonist is dead to the whole join me because we're the same deep down. Ugh. You know what would make this work? Maybe make it so that the witch is more compelled by Mulan. That she never really wanted to hurt her in the first place because up until now, she thought she was the only woman with chi. And now, she's just met another. Make their relationship one of the key focuses of the story. Like Mulan is trying just as hard to get the witch to turn away from her evil path as much as the witch is trying to convince her to go down the evil path. I just feel like with the two most unique characters in the story, they shouldn't be relegated to strictly opponents or a weak-ass join me cliche. Man, the more I think about it, I feel like this movie, it could have been a departure from the ballad that it's based on, but it could have done something different and still be cool. Instead, we get this. I just feel like the changes that I'm making, the hypothetical changes, the routes this story could have taken, I'm already crafting a better story than what we got. Now we get to a very malign scene where Mulan informs her former comrades that Borikhan is making a beeline to the Emperor. Many people seem to take issue that they take her back almost too quickly. This is certainly true. Between the moment that she gets banished from the army to when she reunites with everyone, it's only one scene. And that one scene isn't of self-realization and self-reflection because fuck character growth. That's actually not where my issues lie. Fine, take her back with your weak-ass I am Spartacus moment. My issue is, why does she need to lead? She could have just easily ridden alongside her men. But no, she's leading them. Yes, I know, Mulan is known as the Lady General for a reason. But in more faithful adaptations of her story, it's because she served the army for 10 years or more. She's a skilled warrior and becomes a distinguished war hero, rising through the ranks after leading her men through many victories. She had defining moments that garnered respect from her superiors. Relaying information that has not been verified, after all, she could be lying, should not be enough to lead an entire regiment of soldiers, especially if those soldiers already have a commanding officer that is perfectly healthy and perfectly capable of leading them on his own. Disney done awoke! From this point on, it's basically just a bunch of soldiers following Mulan as she tries to save the day, while my ass is sitting here wondering, why bother? She's basically Mystic Gohan by this point. She is so overpowered that she could probably take on the entire Roran army and save the Emperor's life all before supper. Gotta make those choking men useful somehow! A wee bit of spoilers here, so if you don't want that, jump to this time code. The witch sacrifices herself to save Mulan. It's pointless and it comes out of nowhere. Mulan doesn't even say anything that's all that impactful to the witch that makes her change her ways. Or at least nothing that can't be found in a fortune cookie from pickup sticks. And that arrow that Boricon fires at Mulan? Bet you anything she would have just kicked it out of the way. You will never convince me that there isn't some executive jerking off to this superpower, because that's literally all Mulan does with her chi. So I'll wrap this up, but before I do, I know someone out there is probably going to ask me, is there anything that this movie did that I legitimately like? I suppose I kind of like how Reflection got scored. Anytime that I caught that, it sounded nice. Hell, I'm kind of upset that it wasn't the main theme of the movie. I guess I can also appreciate that the romance between Mulan and Hong Hui was more of an afterthought than an actual focus. I might argue you could have just written it out of the movie entirely and nothing would have changed, but c'est la vie. Beyond all that though, nah, it's garbage. The action is nothing great. Mulan's depiction is very much Mary Sue. Not once are you afraid for Mulan's life. Most of the characters are stupid. And oh boy, the girl power moments are cringe. I feel so bad for anyone who spent $30 on this. So I have to say it. Don't do it. Yeah, I had ironic fun with it, but that doesn't mean I want anyone to spend money on it. Hell, I wouldn't even recommend seeing it for free in December. I don't generally encourage piracy, but if you have to see it, pirate it. Do not give Disney more of your money. They are already worth $130 billion. They could have literally lost all $200 million of this movie's budget and they would literally be fine. They've already lost a reported $150 million. Again, they're fine. They do not need your money. They do not deserve your money, especially with recent developments coming to light. Seriously, guys, skip this. Do not watch it. With that said, my honest rating for Mulan, a strong 3 out of 5. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.